Hello and welcome to the walking talking topic on histograms, question number 7 with me, Mr. Barton. Right, what's going on here? The histogram illustrates the floor areas of the offices available to let by Office Space UK Letting Agency. Calculates how many of the offices available to let have a floor area greater than 75. Right, so as soon as we see how many, we've got to be thinking frequency. We've seen all this before. Greater than 75. So we need to know how many, what the area of all the total bars greater than 75 is. Alright, well that's not going to be too bad, right? Because it's actually made us a fairly nice question here, because that's from 50 to 100, so I reckon that bit there is going to be 75 there. So we don't even need to go within one of the bars like we've done on previous questions. We're just going to need to know the area of each of these four rectangles, because, as we've written down every single time, area of each rectangle is going to be equal to the frequency. So let's take it a bar at a time. Let's take this bar here. In fact, just for a laugh, let's call them bars 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's get a little bit organised here. So bar number 1, what's the base? It goes from 75 to 100. It's got a base of 25. What's the height? It's got a height of 4. What's 25 times 4? 100. Easy. Bar number 2, that goes from 100, and that must be 125. So again, that's got a base of 25. What's its height? 6. What's 25 times 6? 150. This one, bar 3, goes from 125 to 150. So again, a base of 25. What's its height? Well, it's right the way up to 7. They're trying to catch us out a little bit here with slightly harder calculations. But if 25 6 is 150, we need an extra 25 for that. So that's going to be 175. And finally, bar number 4, slightly trickier, goes from 150 to 200. That's got a base of 50. It's got a height of 2. 50 times 2, 100. Add those together and we're laughing. Let's try it without a calculator. Let's push ourselves here. We've got a 5 there, 0, 0, 5 and 0. We've got a 5 and a 7. That's a 12. Carry me 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. So I reckon that is 525 offices. Done and dusted. Is there a part B? Yes, there is. Let me just grab it. Let's have a look here. 4 marks. Are they going to try and mess us up here? Office Space UK charges £200 arrangement fee when any of the offices with a floor area of up to 100 metre squares are let. Assuming that all the offices less than 100 metre squares are let, how much will Office Space get in arrangement fees for these offices? Give you an answer in standard form. Right, a few things going on here. So they get £200 for every office up to an area of 100 metres squared. Right, we need to work out how many offices are up to 100 metres squared. Well, that's not too bad as well. They're not really pushing us here, because we've got those amount of offices, they're between 75 and 100, and we've got these amount of offices as well. So let's call this, we call this bar 5 or something like that. So we've got, let's spell it out for make sure we get the marks. We've got total offices equal bar 5, whatever that is, plus bar 1. They're all our ones that are between 0 and 75 and 75 and 100. So bar 5, we've never worked this out. That's got a base of 75 and a height of 1. So that's going to be 75 times by 1. And then bar number 1, we worked that out before, didn't we? That had 25, base of 25, height of 4. That was 100 offices. So we've got 75 times 1, which is 75, plus 100. So we've got total offices of 175 offices that are less than 100 metres squared. For each one of those, they get £200. So total revenue, let's use some posh words here, equal 175 times by 200. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's do it without a calc. Right, we've got 175 times by 200. So I am going to pretend it said times by 2. So 2 lots of 175, or 2 lots of 75 are 150. 2 lots of 100 are 200. Add together 150 and 200, you get 350. So that would be 350 if it was times by 2, but it's times by 200, so I need the same number of zeros on there. And I want my answer in standard form, so that is going to be 3.5 times 10 to the power of, get me point in there and move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places. 3.5 times 10 to the 4, chuck me pound sign in for good measure, and I think to be, oh god, wait a minute, just out of the corner of my eye, and God knows why it's that small, I've spotted this one here. What's this? It's reported that the median size of office space available to let is 80 metres squared. Is it true for the offices that are available? Office space, oh, for God's sake. Right, so they're claiming it's 80 metres squared, and it's median. So for median, we need the middle office. So let's work out first total number of offices, because we've got that information already. Total number of offices. So we had a total number of offices greater than 75 was 525, and added to the mix there, we've got these new lower ones, which there were 75 of them. So total number of offices is going to be your 525 that we have from the previous part, plus your 75, and I think that's going to be 600 offices. So your median office is going to be roughly equal to the 300th office. So let's have a look what space the 300th office takes up. And I'm going to just label on my diagram here. So that was your first, that was 75 there. In number one we had 100, so we're up to 175. In office 2, in that group 2 we had 150. Where's my 300th? So I've got 75 plus 100 is 175. 275, 225. There's about, if my maths is right, there are 225 offices up to that stage. Your 150, your 100, and your 75. Now the important thing here is they're claiming that the median size office is 80. Now 80 is here. 80 is there. Now, do we have half our offices less than 80? Well, I don't think we do, because we've got 75 of them there and 100 of them there. We don't even have half our offices less than 100. So there's no way 80 can be the median area for office, because, as I say, less than half our offices are less than 100 in space. So I'm going to write down for this little bit that I've only just missed here, sorry, that I nearly missed. I'm going to put, let's have a look. So median will be the 300th office. I'm going to put 175 offices are less than 100. So 175 offices are less than 100. What is it? Meters squared. So no way that 300 offices can be less than 80 meters squared. So 80 meters squared is not the median. If 80 meters squared was the median, we would have to have half our offices less than it and half our offices more than it. I can see very clearly from the diagram there that the median for our offices is more to this side. So there's no way 80 can be the median, but I've just got to convince them of that, and I reckon that's a half decent way of doing it. Let's call it a day for histograms there. You can have too much of a good thing.